Dubai, welcome back to Lovin Dubai show where we go through the top trending stories that everyone across the country is talking about. We also go live in podcast format, so please hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcast from. This is Emirates employees this morning. Our top stories today: Emirates employees get a whopping 5-month bonus.
As well, UAE praises the United Nations General Assembly's vote to grant Palestine full membership.
We are talking about the very lucky day for an Omani citizen who celebrated 100,000 dirhams worth of traffic fine removal.
As well, a Dubai resident perfectly debunked some Dubai myths.
And do stay tuned because later in the show, he is back, Mr. Golden Visa, who's giving expert advice on golden visas, free zones, eligibility, and more.
And as well, it is 220 days since the genocide began on October 7 in Gaza. The current death toll stands at 35,034. The number of injured people is 78,755, and 1.9 million people have been displaced from their homes.
And in today's weather, it's fair to partly cloudy with some convective cloud formation, which may be associated with rainfall in the eastern parts of the country. Today in Dubai, it's highs of 38 degrees. Before we get into our top stories, the question, do you want to be this man? This is Mr. Bean on the beach, by the way. Our question to you, do you want to be financially free? This is not an ad. It's not really a trend, but it's something that's getting a lot of attention at the moment. It's called FIRE. FIRE means, let me get that for you, financial independence, retire early.
That's true. I see that mainly very famous, or I would say popular among the newest generation. They just want to retire early. They want financial freedom. They don't want to work. They hate the 9-to-5 job.
But are they ready to do FIRE? Because FIRE is an actual savings method. It's basically like, we all plan retirement. It's like, okay, I'm going to retire at I'm 65 if I do my savings. And it's saying, why? Like, who made up that number? And the question we put to you today, would you squirrel away like 80% of your income? That means living extremely frugally for 10 years, if that could be you in 15 years' time.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't, because I am this age and I am young for this period of time. And why would I just like save up and, I don't know, buckle myself up and put myself in a box and not live my life the way I want to live my life? Because I'm not going to be 26 or 25 in 10 or, 2050. I don't know, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be that young forever.
I get your point.
Yeah.
But as a mid-30-year-old, I'm thinking, like, the trappings that I spend money on are so pointless in reality. Like clothes, eating. I spend so much money eating out.
I know.
And if I were to pull that back, we're going to keep it the clothes. If I were to pull back, if you like really shift your mindset and think, I'm going to live extremely frugally. I can't even get it out. I can't even get it out.
No.
Give up everything. But it means you have afforded yourself a big enough financial pot that you can literally stop working and be flexible.
Yeah, but
when
if you
turn to 45.
No. Look, the thing is, again, I strongly believe that, you know what, I'm going to be this young for this period of time.
Just this period,
you know?
got you.
So why
see
would
what you're saying.
I would say like limit myself from actually living my age. I'm not gonna be living the age of like 26 when I'm 45. You know what I mean?
So do you think there's an age that you will get to that FIRE makes sense?
I think maybe when I'm gonna be closer to my 30s, I will for sure be like, oh yeah, maybe I should have saved up. But maybe we can do both, you know? Maybe you can do both, you know? I feel like you can keep like a part of your salary aside and a part where you can enjoy and have fun and a part where you can, I don't know, do whatever you want to do.
But to actually get to the point that you can retire when you're 45, it's saving 70% of your annual income. But I think you can still live life without all of the expensive things. Like your life can still be enjoyable if you're not going out for brunches every weekend. Not that you are, but in general, like where money goes, where money gets spent, eating, drinking, clothes, fashion, I don't know, holidays.
Yeah. No,
you can still enjoy life without all of I say it, but I don't even believe it. I say it, but I don't even believe it.
Why are we calling ourselves out? Why are you calling us out, Casey?
I'm trying to convince myself that it's possible. I'm trying. And then I can be Mr. Bean on a beach. What is he holding?
I think he's holding a camera like, oh my God, I'm free. But the thing is, I wish I can relate, but I do go out every weekend and I do spend money.
Same. But this FIRE, I've heard topics recently, it was covered in the New York Times this weekend, it's becoming more of a thing that people are questioning the retirement age. Like 65, why? Why am I still working until that point? If I were to save better, save smarter from a younger age, I could actually retire early and have that flexibility earlier. Because we're young, but things can change tomorrow. You don't know where life's going to take you.
That is true. But I'm still going to live my life.
Aisha, what did you say? Can you save when you're younger? I mean, I'm older and I still can't, but I'm really trying to convince myself that it's possible. Yeah, if Hesham's saying you come at the end of the month and you're like, where did the money go? Yeah.
Food.
But so you're meant to, at the end of every week, literally track every single thing that you spend. And then you can, after a month, compartmentalize, okay, so this went on food, this went on transport. And then if there's anything, Massa, you do that? Because you're luxury. Massa's luxury. That is really good. I wish I did it. Anyway, if you guys are doing it, you have tips that can teach us how to save, we are all ears. Speaking of people who might have some savings coming to them very shortly, big news for Emirates. Their employees to get a whopping 5-month bonus. So congratulations, Emirates Group. They have reported their best ever financial performance with a record profit of 18 billion dirham. That's up 71% from last year. Amazing stuff. The group announced record revenue and record level of cash assets, which the chairman credits to Dubai's progressive policies. And it says these profits will further enable investments in new aircraft, facilities and equipment, technology, products and services, and of course, its people.
Now, His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum, Chairman and Chief Executive of Emirates Airline and Group, said, "The group's excellent financial standing today places us in a strong position for future growth and success. It enables us to invest to deliver even better products, services, and more value to our customers and stakeholders. Now, many major projects are already underway, including a multi-billion-dollar aircraft fleet and cabin renewal program, new catering, cargo, and ground handling capabilities, advanced technologies to support the group's operations, expanded training and people development programs, and initiatives to progress the group's sustainability agenda."
Wow, so big changes maybe on the horizon too. So in total, the group declares a dividend of 4 billion dirham that will go to its owner specifically, that's the owner of ICD, and a reported 20-week bonus to eligible employees. And this is the second year in a row that they've announced such a bonus to employees after delivering 24 weeks of pay to 50,000 staff this time last year. In total, the group is now largest than it's ever been. The total workforce grew by 10% in the last year to 112,406, its largest size ever. And dividends, as we said, will be paid to eligible employees. So it's going back to the people, to future.
That's true.
To the owner who gets the entire dividend. Wow.
I mean, this is what, of course, almost, the whole population of, Dubai residents use Emirates to go and come back to their countries or even travel. So the fact that they are making it seem like it is going to go back to the residents who are actually going to be using the Emirates Airlines just seems, I think, very cool. And it all comes in hand, by the way, with like the tourism, Dubai, the services, altogether made this big number of profit that is going to go back to you guys.
And it's people. I'm just thinking, if you could like AI and change one thing about the flying experience, maybe not just with Emirates, but like if you had all of this money and you could change one thing, like what's that one thing that you guys, and I put the question to you as well, think that airlines should change? So if you have like a pet peeve, we could do like a round robin of like, what's the one thing that you would think? So I have a thought.
What is
I don't know why my pet peeve is. So when you're on the flight and you can smell the food, but you're sitting at the back, and it takes like an hour, and there's no rhyme or reason to where you're sitting to where it's going to be delivered. So I wish that, and also I wish there was like a set time. Yes, I wish there was a set time. So when you get on the flight, you know it's going to be at like 12, because then you can plan your snacks.
But, yeah, that is true. But actually, because my sister tells me, my sister is cabin crew and she serves, the whole aircraft, right? Depending on her position for the aircraft. So she tells me that the thing is, they don't know, and it's all according to how long the flight is. So they themselves do not know. They just like when it's time for either dinner, breakfast, or lunch, they just go with the thing. And I think they even have I would say like notification like, hey, like it's gonna be lunchtime, or it's dinner time, or it's breakfast time. So I think maybe I don't know, passengers should be aware. Because it depends. They should know.
I don't know, just a little, because when you get the smell of the food, you're thinking, I'd like to eat right now, and then it might take some time. Anything that you would change about your flying experience, Farah, Hisham, Massa, people of Instagram who are so dutifully watching the show, which we love. Yes. We love to read your comments as well.
Actually, I would. The food, because let's say it's a very big aircraft. The food at the beginning is for sure hot, but as it reaches the end, it's going to get a bit colder.
Is it colder when you get it? If you've been sitting at the back, I've never noticed.
I mean, I don't know. I've never really paid much attention, but I have had a couple of meals that would be a bit colder, and I'd be like, I wish that was hotter. So maybe if there was something I don't know, because imagine with me. So there's a tree with I don't know, some fire.
Yeah,
fire
on the flight.
And yeah, guys, it's fine. I told you I'm delusional. Just bear with me.
Keep it warmer.
Bear with me. So it's gonna stay warm, and in that way, you're gonna get your food as fresh as possible.
Or maybe you know what they should do? Imagine the drama this would cause if there was a lucky dip.
Okay.
And one lucky person on every flight would just get to fly business. And they had a raffle. I love raffles.
Yeah.
And you would just wave to everyone as you go forward.
Bye, guys.
Okay, that's probably not happening. But then it would give you the experience, and then maybe you think, maybe I'll forget my fire savings and pay business class.
That's true. Well, Delulu is the Salulu.
Delulu is the Salulu. Could happen. Emirates, if you're listening.
Yes.
Let's jump into the next stories we've got for the day.
So UAE praises the United Nations General Assembly's vote to grant Palestine full membership. The UAE applauded the United Nations General Assembly's vote in support of Palestine's full membership, and its call for the Security Council to reconsider the application. Now, in a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs stressed the UAE's dedication to peace, injustice, and rights of the Palestinian people, aiming to establish an independent Palestinian state following United Nations resolutions and relevant agreements.
During an emergency special session of the UNGA, the UAE, representing the Arab group for May, presented the resolution affirming Palestinians' eligibility for full UN membership. The UAE also strongly denounced the Israeli settler attack on a Jordanian aid convoy bound for Gaza via Beit Hanun and the assault on the UNRWA headquarters in occupied Jerusalem.
As well, as reported, Israeli settlers assaulted a humanitarian aid convoy headed to the Erez crossing in northern Gaza, allegedly tampering with its contents. Furthermore, on May 9, Israeli residents twice set fire to the perimeter of the UNRWA headquarters in occupied East Jerusalem. Witnesses, of course, observed a crowd accompanied by armed individuals outside the compound chanting slogans such as "Burn down the United Nations," as recounted by UNRWA, of course, which is, I would say, the situation is bound to hopefully one day end.
The day by day, the stories that we continuously hear are just impossibly shocking, but it's great to see the UAE continue to take a public stand against what's happening in Gaza. We're jumping into a story about an Omani citizen who celebrated 100,000 dirham fine removal. So our first question is, how does someone even rack up these types of fines? In a video that's gone viral, we can see a man who racked up 250 UAE fines, totaling over 108,000 dirham, apparently.
Wow, that's a huge number. But this man is on the lucky side of the government ruling after it was announced in April that all traffic fines incurred by Omanis in the UAE between 2018 and 2023 are being waived by the government after Sultan Haytham bin Tariq paid the president a visit.
Could you imagine?
I can't.
But I don't think we should really pay heed to this person who racked up 250 fines, because I think it sounds extremely reckless.
That's true. Maybe we should give him like driving therapy. I don't know.
I think it would be a good idea, whether you don't know whether it's reckless driving, whether it's speeding, it's breaking red lights, but 250 fines is clearly, this person probably should not be on the roads.
That's true. I agree.
Although we don't have the information behind it. But every now and then, sometimes the UAE, this was a partnership between the UAE and Oman, they might announce traffic fines being waived. And I think that people, an amnesty, there hasn't been an amnesty on fines in quite some time in the UAE, as far as I remember, but there has been in my 10 years of being here.
That is true.
And you sometimes find people wait, but they don't come. They don't come anymore, so you have to pay your fines. But this lucky guy got his fines waived.
That is true. And you know, the thing is, like, on the road, I remember having this advice from my dad. He's like, Farah, when you're driving, you shouldn't only care about your driving. You should as well be aware of the surroundings. And people like him, as you said, maybe they should not be on the road because they are for sure maybe creating some kind of like panic or stress to other drivers on the road. So that is like not okay. For him to have that much of a big number of fines, that for sure must indicate something. Like, is the problem you're driving, or is the problem the roads?
Yeah, that is a question that person has to answer. I remember learning how to ski, and it's like you might trust yourself skiing, but you just can't trust everyone around you, because people, it could be their first time. You have people fall over and you crash into each other, and it can be madness. It's the same on the roads. It doesn't matter. You could be the best driver in the world, but you could still get yourself into an accident. So if you're the person who's been racking up those types of fines, you really have to take a good hard look at yourself and ask why, and potentially go back to driving school. This was no myth. Amnesties do happen, but it's been quite some time in the UAE. But we're going to jump into more myths in the UAE which have been debunked.
So a Dubai resident perfectly debunked some Dubai myths. Now, the Dubai resident Rohit Mankanda debunked several myths about the city. Contrary to popular belief, he explained that Dubai's weather is not always scorching hot. While June to September can reach temperatures up to 40 degrees, the rest of the year offers milder conditions. Addressing another misconception, he clarified that alcohol is not banned in Dubai, emphasizing the city's reputation for being women-friendly, of course. And he as well highlighted that Arabic is not the only language that is spoken.
Lastly, he dispelled the notion that everyone in Dubai leads an exotic life, noting that actually expats live quite normal lives working in fields such as education, retail, and healthcare, demonstrating that it is entirely feasible to maintain a modest life in the city. So I think some of these are quite obvious, right? But what are the ones that we think the people outside of the UAE don't know? So that like it's friendly to women, the weather, the fact that we can live normal lives, we don't have Lambos. Like, which do you think the international population still believe? Because these are all quite clear to me.
That is true, but I think the exotic lifestyle is the most because I do like as well see that and hear that from my family back in Syria. They go like, oh yeah, Farhwa, you live in Dubai, so you must be very rich. Where?
But it's interesting because I don't get that you must be very rich, but how he labeled it is exotic lifestyle. And I do live a different life that I would have if I was at home. Like this weekend, I was in a 5-star hotel. That just wouldn't be happening in Ireland. And you pop in and you can look quite casual. You don't need to be dressed up. Like,
that is true.
It might happen, but you don't need to be. It's much more common here to do quite extra things, or like even just like being at the beach. To me, that's quite exotic.
I mean, for
if
sure.
you forget the hotel, I was at the beach and I had an umbrella. Like that's living.
That is, but like as well, like I feel like I don't know. They just like there's this idea that if you live in Dubai, you must be very rich. You must be able to have everything that you want. You are the rich of the richest. That I've heard this like a lot.
Hesham says, yeah, you can get whatever you want here. I have Hesham is saying not everyone's rich, but you can get whatever you want. We're rich in privilege. And I have a theory that we are here because we're able to earn an income that's comparably higher than we would be at home. So for example, what country you're from, your salary generally equates to an amount that you can save something and send it home.
That's true. Yeah.
So even if you're on a smaller salary, you're still earning comparatively higher than you would be in your home country. So although we don't, there's quite a disparity of wealth in the city, that's very clear, but we're still earning more that it makes sense for us to be here. And if we weren't and we didn't value the city and everything it brings us, we probably wouldn't be here. And I think that's the same on most salary levels.
I do agree with you, but again, like, I don't know, but maybe their idea of exotic is way higher than, what we know we have. You know what I mean? It's like, fine, oh, wow, you don't have a Lamborghini? I've had, some cousins ask me that, and I'm like, boy, I don't.
I rented one for a day.
I don't.
Yeah, I like those supercar, like the notions of pricey vehicles is just beyond. But I still think the value of life that we have is quite high.
I agree with you. I do. I'm so honestly grateful every single day that I'm actually born and that I live in Dubai.
That's nice.
I mean, if they would give me the passport, I tell my mom that all the time.
I mean, if they would give us,
since I was a kid,
if they would give us the golden visa, and that leads us quite nicely into our next guest. Mr. Golden Visa is back, and he will be giving expert advice on how you yourself can get your hands on one. We're also going to talk about free zones, eligibility, and cost. Do stay tuned. He'll be with us after this short break. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today's guest is Mr. Golden Visa himself. He is back again, and today we're going to be answering your questions. We're talking transparency, free zones, age limits, and so much more. Welcome back to the show. We're happy to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. So many questions. Let's start answering.
Let's dive right in.
So, welcome again.
Thank you very much.
We have a lot of questions for you. So, my first question is if you can break down the Golden Visa process, in simple terms for someone that is unfamiliar with the Golden Visa, the process, because it might seem complicated.
Let's start with that. Let's start with what are the 4 different ways that you can get Golden Visa. I'll repeat myself, but I think it's very important for people to understand. The first one is if you own a property worth 2 million dirham, the value of the property has to be 2 million dirham. However, you can just do a down payment and you have the sales purchase agreement, you can be eligible for Golden Visa. The second one, which is the salary of 30,000 dirham, and if you fall under any managerial or executive level, then you're eligible for Golden Visa. Third one, which is if you have a fixed deposit of 2 million dirham with any Dubai banks, or you have got shares in bonds worth of 2 million dirham. The last one, which comes under the cultural category, where if you are a media personality, you are eligible for Golden Visa. Now you asked me for the process. First thing is we take the basic documents and we put them to pre-qualify for a Golden Visa. Once they get the approval on pre-qualification based on any of the 4 categories, then we go for the medical. Then only we request them, if they have an existing residence visa, to cancel that residence visa. Then we go for the biometrics and medical, change status, and then you get the visa stamped.
And why should I choose Decisive Zone? Like, how can you ensure that it's kind of a transparent service? Why should we choose you guys?
Well, we have the expertise, and now each visa takes about 4 to 5 different people who get involved in preparation of the document till the visa getting stamped. We have done more than 600 visas so far, and successfully on rate is more than 90%. So we do have the expertise in where we can guide you throughout the process to make sure if you're eligible or not. That's the first step in the Golden Visa. And we are very transparent when it comes to the government cost and then our service fees. Now, a lot of the times, a lot of smaller companies, they may just attract people with the smaller fees. However, we are not the cheapest, but we make sure that you get your Golden Visa in your hand. Then only we charge you. Otherwise, we have 100% refund guaranteed.
Ah, interesting.
So zero service fees.
So you're only charging for the visa if it's successful? And
yes.
Can you give us an idea of the costs on the government side and Decisive Zone?
Yes, there are different categories of Golden Visa cost you different. Now, the salaried ones cost you 4,800 dirham approximately government cost. However, the real estate based or the investment based Golden Visas goes between 9,500 and 10,000 dirham. On top of that, we charge 20% service fees. Wow. So that's how we work on this.
Got you.
That's
so
interesting.
This is pure government cost if people want to know, and it is available on their website as well.
It's really good to know on the success rate that it's only charged if your Golden Visa is successful.
Yes.
Which by the way builds, I think, trust between you and as well people who are actually coming to get the Golden Visa. Speaking of that, a lot of expats recently joined, or I would say came to live in Dubai, and they go like, okay, fine, you know what, I'm gonna come to Dubai because I want to do this and that, and they think that Dubai is their golden ticket to money, right? And a lot of things.
To build business. I mean, this is becoming the biggest business hub in the world today.
So, can you expats in the country get the Golden Visa?
If they can provide documents to support and they fit under any of these 4 categories, then they do get a Golden Visa. Now, again, we put them through for a pre-qualification because there is a committee sitting. It's not an individual person approving. A committee decides whether this person is eligible or not. If we can support documents showing, let's say Rihanna shows up in Dubai and wants a Golden Visa, for sure we can put her on the cultural category or the media category, and then definitely we will get her approval. So you do not have to be a resident here to apply for Golden Visa. Even if you're coming to Dubai as a tourist, we can check your eligibility for a Golden Visa.
And I think to then go a little bit more niche and something that kind of does free zones and mainland and jurisdictions tie into visas. So if you help me, am I going to have a visa for a specific area and therefore I can't operate in another one, or how does that work?
It is a little bit different. Now, Golden Visa is separate than having being a free zone on mainland. Now, free zone mainland is more for the trade license or the business type that you're getting into. It doesn't matter if you have a Golden Visa or not. Let me explain. So, mainland, free zone, and offshore, there are three different authorities or three different ways of getting trade license. Now, mainland is more for people who is doing a retail business in Dubai, which is more labor-centric. Let's say you need 100 employees for your business. You will ideally go for a mainland license. Free zone is more for a B2B business model, business to business, or a consultancy business, or people doing business with outside the world, outside UAE. Those people should ideally select a free zone trade license. And those are specific for 6 visas. However, certain free zones have got port linked to it, so wherein you can get many more visas. Offshore is meant for business and investment purposes. You can buy property under offshore companies. You can ideally do business from outside the world, not in UAE, and you do not get any visas, UAE visa under that.
Interesting.
Well, which jurisdiction is suitable for who?
Again, ideally, if you are doing a retail business, you should definitely look for a mainland license, ideally opening a salon, a boutique, a shop in the market, a restaurant, a cafe. These are the main categories where you should ideally go for a mainland business. Or you're doing a business to a customer, where in B2C business, you should ideally do a mainland license. For free zone is more for business to business again, or a consultancy license.
I think the majority of people who watch the show are quite interested in their own personal status. So,
Okay.
like, if I get a visa, but what does that mean for my employer? You said that in the process you then cancel your employer visa, I guess. So then I just don't need to get an employer visa.
So you become self-sponsor.
Yeah.
Once you get a Golden Visa, you do not have your employer as your sponsor. You become a self-sponsor. However, you can take a work permit and work for any of the companies. So your employer would be actually happy because your labor category goes up in the company if they have many Golden Visa holders working for the company.
And you still need to take a work permit.
You do need a work permit to work with any company, yes.
That's honestly
A lot of information.
It's a lot of information. But so I want to ask if there is an age limit to get the Golden Visa?
Nowadays, we are actually getting a lot of questions related to this. To get a Golden Visa, there is no age limit. If you're a brilliant student, there is very specific. I can go in more detail. If you come out of a list of GDFRA university or school and you get above 3.5 out of 5, yes, and then you become eligible. Depending on how you perform in your school or university, you do become eligible for Golden Visa. And no, there is no age limit. You can get Golden Visa when you're born as well, provided your parents support it.
What is the most popular category of, you said you have processed, your company has processed 600 visas. What is the most popular category?
Currently, the real estate ones are the quickest one and the most in demand because people are investing a lot in real estate.
Makes sense.
I mean, honestly, because I have like some of my family, they've got really good high grades in university, and they got, you know, like I would say my cousin got the Golden Visa.
Oh, congratulations!
And it's
They must be like
Let's
your family's
check.
golden child.
Yes, she is. We got her cake and so on. So of course, which is honestly very exciting. So if let's say a resident who lives here in Dubai, however, went to university outside of Dubai, all right? However, has really high grades, and they come here to Dubai the university makes the list of like the A-list universities. Can they get the
Yes.
golden visa or not?
Oh, this is very interesting. Honestly, I haven't really dealt with anyone who came from, maybe coming from La Roche or Oxford. Yes, I should definitely check. Can I get back to you on this the next week on the same show? Yes, I will definitely come back to you on this one.
Well, that is a good point because there's a lot of comments coming through, but you are coming back next week. This is a series of interviews that we're doing to get you guys the information about golden visas and also everything you guys are doing at Decisive Zone. So if people want to get in touch with you, if they have questions directly for you, how can they do that?
They can go to our Instagram page, decisivezone.ae. They can go to mrgoldenvisa.com, which is launching soon. Also, they can get in touch 05535 That's our number.
Okay, there you go, guys. That is the information, and that brings us to the end of the show. A massive thank you again, Mr. Golden Visa, for joining us. Farah, great to have you on the show. And that brings us to the end. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a brilliant day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thank you.